Hey gang, Tom Corley here with your tip of the week. This week's topic, good debt versus bad debt. Now, I know a lot of you who follow me and subscribe to my website, my blog, are Dave Ramsey fans. And I usually espouse the evils of accumulating debt and the importance of living below your means, because that's how a lot of the self-made millionaires in my study did it. However, there's a group, a big group, close to 70% of the self-made millionaires in my study who did it a different way. They pursued some dream, or they went to college, grad school, got their PhD, and became CEOs and senior executives in big companies. And there were others who didn't go to college and just went into real estate and became focused on accumulating real estate assets. So I want to just clarify that there's good debt and there's bad debt. The good debt is just what I talked about, and we're going to get into that a little bit. The bad debt is really the kind of debt where you're using credit cards and loans and things like that just to maintain your standard of living. You have to rely on that debt because you're living beyond your means. Now, I thought I'd share some examples of some millionaires or billionaires that I studied who, used good debt in order to become wealthy. One of them is, and you'll probably know this name, Elon Musk. He's the billionaire. He's worth about 10 billion, who is responsible for starting Tesla, the automotive company, electric automobiles, running on batteries. He's also responsible for SpaceX, and he's also a major investor in a solar company, Solar City. What's interesting about Elon Musk is he not only put all of his wealth, and he had an enormous amount of wealth, 223 million that he got from selling his share of PayPal. He had at one time 223 million minus whatever the tax on that, and I think he was left with about 180 million dollars. He dumped all of that into really three companies: Tesla, SpaceX, and Solar City. With respect to Tesla, he not only poured all of his money that he had allocated for that investment, he actually went into debt. He secured additional investors. He put Tesla into debt, and at one point he was on the brink of personal bankruptcy, and Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy. They had tried to send a couple of rockets into space and to get into orbit. That was critical, and they failed. 3 times they failed, and but he didn't quit. He was on the verge of bankruptcy. He was able to pull together what remaining money he had, and also got other people to invest. But if that 4th rocket launch failed, it would have been over for him. But it didn't fail. That's an enormous risk that he took. The rocket obtained orbit, and in December of 2008, NASA awarded SpaceX with a $1.6 billion contract. Donald Trump, who's running for president of the United States, like him or hate him, he built his wealth primarily on debt. And he did it over a long period of time. He took enormous risks. In fact, he had to file for bankruptcy in the late 90s. His companies filed for bankruptcy. They had to restructure their debt. But he recovered, and now he's worth anywhere from nobody really knows, $1 billion to $10 billion, if you believe what he says. There are other individuals that accumulate debt to go to college and then go to become doctors or PhDs or scientists, and they end up making an enormous amount of money. So that's good debt. College debt is also good debt. There's also asset accumulation debt. I had one of the individuals in my study had, when I interviewed him, or I interviewed her because it was a woman, she had accumulated $20 million in debt. But here's the thing, she had over $48 million in assets. And she was slowly selling off those assets, $3 million one year, $4 million the next year, and kind of redirecting or reallocating that money into retirement funds. I just want to make a big point here, a distinguishing point, that there are two ways to become rich. One is to live below your means, and the other way is to pursue some dream. And oftentimes pursuing that dream means that you're going to have to go into debt. That's okay, because dream debt, college debt, and asset accumulation debt, that's good debt. That debt can turn you into a millionaire. That's it for this week, and I'll see you guys again next week. Thanks.